Hector Bravo unhinged. Chaos is now in session.
Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. Today, another banger. We have a correctional officer, man, who has a lot of experience and wants to educate the masses when it comes to that. And it's none other than Josiah. What's up, Josiah?
Oh, hey, what's up, Hector?
Hope I didn't butcher your name, man.
You're good, pal, man. We work in corrections, man. There's worse stuff you could be doing.
True. So how many different states did you work corrections in?
I worked in 3 different prison systems. I worked in the state of Texas. That was my very, very first one. My second one was the state of Colorado. And then my third system is the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And this is I worked at 2 federal prisons. I've worked at 3 state facilities for the state of Colorado. I worked at two prisons and for the Texas Department of Corrections.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So what made you want to go into corrections?
In all honesty, what this is about, when I first started like corrections, when I got out of the Navy, after you get out of the Navy, it's very, very hard when you transition. Now, I want to make everything clear. I was never in Iraq. I was never in Afghanistan. I was in from 2006 to 2010. I was stationed over there in Yokosuka, Japan, and I had a blast for my 4 years. I was seaside. I got to go to bars. I got to be with women.
Nice.
I'm not going to go sit here and lie about my military service.
Don't you worry about that, man.
Yeah.
Actually, right before you, I'm glad you said that, because right before you, I was talking to a combat veteran, and we're like, man, I'm kind of jealous of somebody that didn't serve in combat because you don't want that. You know what I mean? And ultimately, we tell that to people like, fuck that, man.
Oh, and then, yeah, and with that, and then like also too, with the Navy, it brought me experience with corrections. And then like the good thing was I know a lot of people shit on mental health, like
right.
being my age and everything. But in all honesty, it helped me out a lot for my brother when he was over there in Iraq. And like dealing like with his PTSD, me like tearing up, but we can share that to go be like helping out vets like on a later thing.
What branch was your brother in?
Oh, he was in the Army.
He was in the Army?
Yeah, he was like I don't know that much about his service. All I remember was he was in Soldier City and he was with the 82nd Airborne. Now, he never told me about it, but the effects of like when they come home of your family members, man, it's rough.
Was he your older brother or younger brother?
Oh, he was younger.
Your younger brother?
So like the worst part was like dealing with him was his drinking. Like, oh man, I hated it. So he got like so bad, like I literally had to tell him, hey, you know what, man, I'm not gonna be funding your alcohol habit. Like I'll fund like other stuff, like for you to go do this or go do that. But that was hard. The hardest thing with my brother with his PTSD was about how you always got to love him was he was super, super drunk. It was the year 2012, and he was just blitzed out of his mind. So I went over there to his place, and he pulled a gun out on me. And I've had guns pulled out on me before, but that's just because of my family. They were always really, really big into guns. And then my brother told me, stop or I'll shoot you, identify yourself. So that was hard. I was like, hey, I'm a Seaman Bonner with the USS Kitty Hawk. Here's my ID card. Oh, okay. Then like dealing with that was hard.
Did your brother change as a person before and after?
Oh, he changed 100%. 100%.
How did you view him before? Easygoing, calmer?
No, he was just...
What were the changes?
Like, some of the changes was about, like, it pisses me off with our federal government. Because here was somebody good. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't no Boy Scout, but typical high schooler. He liked to party. He had a girlfriend. I pain in the ass. You know, like typical teenager shit.
Right.
typical teenager stuff, and seeing him going for that, and seeing him being so changed in the way for our government, trying to go through the VA. Oh my gosh, that's a pain in the ass as itself. Like no, he's legitimately freaking disabled, but it was more of a pain in the ass to try to prove the fact to get his disability.
Right.
And that was golly, man, that was a pain in the ass, but it was such a pain in the neck. And so just dealing with that, helping him, and then just like a couple years ago, I'm not trying to get political. It doesn't matter who the president was going to be at that time, but just seeing the pullout in Afghanistan, it really, really makes you question your own federal government. Like you don't.
Oh, I don't question it, bro. I just don't flat out trust it at all.
Yeah. So like, I don't trust it at all.
There's no more questioning.
Yeah.
I've made up my mind, dude.
Yeah. So like to me, it was just a slap in the face. So now I'm all like, yeah. So now when I tell anybody if they should join the military, I just tell them, do you mind being the federal government's puppet? And if you can,
I mean, it's a job that has to be done, right? But I think we're trying to enlighten people as to what
Yeah.
they're getting themselves into.
yeah, but you have to know what you're really, really doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you find yourself as like a caregiver for your brother? Did you find yourself having to take care of him?
No, not really, because my mom told me that was her job.
Okay.
That was her job, and that my job is just to make money and just give her money whenever she needs it.
Were those discussions you had with your mother about your brother?
Oh yeah, completely. It was a lot of discussions with her. It was very, very, very deep. And then also too was about, you got to look at it from my mother's point of view. Was about she had 3 sons. Like I joined the Navy in 06, my brother joined in 07, and then my other brother joined in 08 and 08. So we were all right there during the middle of the height of the Iraq-Afghanistan
The
war.
movie Saving Private Ryan, man.
Yeah,
with the sons.
Yeah, so that's what it was. And then like to me, like growing up was about, it really was never my goal to be in the military. And the only reason why I did it was because on my dad's side was every single male has always fought in the war ever since the Revolutionary War. So like I'm part of the Sons of the American Revolution. My mom's part of the Daughters of the American Revolution. So every single member of the Bonner family was, I'm half white and I'm half Mexican. So like my mom is Mexican. So everybody on the Aguilar side, they fought on every single war. And then a really great influence was my great-grandfather, Armando Ballesteros. Steros was because he earned a Silver Star over there in North Africa or in Italy during World War II.
Yeah.
World War II. So like to me, I thought everybody served in the military. Like my uncles did it, my dad did it, my grandfather did it. Not all of them served, but I go, they all served during the wartime. They may not have been directly in combat.
Right.
But to me, I thought everybody served. So like to me, it was more of all like,
Where were you raised, dude?
huh?
Where were you raised? Like what city?
Oh, my father was in the Marine Corps, so we moved around a lot.
Okay.
But if I was gonna claim anything, it would probably be Dodge City, Kansas.
Really?
Yeah, but that's where I went to high school at.
Is there Marine bases in Kansas?
No. He retired
Okay.
in like 2002 or 2003, and then I did a year of high school for the Los Angeles Unified School District. I did my 9th grade year over there at Sylmar High School.
Okay.
Up there. So like I'm very, very familiar like with Los Angeles and
Okay.
everything else like that. Then I went to high school over there in Dodge City, Kansas. But like my dad, he was a major. Like I didn't really understand the aspects of it until I got into the military. But and I grew up a lot in like 29 Palms area a lot because
Yeah.
my dad. Let's just face it. I go, were you in the Army or Marine Corps, Hector? Army. Okay. So imagine this. So imagine somebody that's a prick at doing really well at their job, and they spent 28 out of their 30 years over there at Fort Irwin. It's not a good duty station, everybody. It's a crap hole. So my dad spent the majority of his career over there in 29 Palms. Great person, great officer, but he just didn't have the personality to be somewhere nice like San Diego, Hawaii. He was straight up artillery and all that good stuff. So he spent a lot of time in 29 Palms. And a lot of people don't realize in the Marine Corps, you only have to go to 29 Palms once because it's considered a hardship tour.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I know it kind of sucks to be there, but I didn't realize it was a hardship tour.
Yeah, and then this is a joke, everybody, but Lake Dambini does not smell good.
So I could kind of see how you got paved into like corrections now, coming from that background. Yeah. Were you initially tested by the inmates?
Oh, all the time, man.
What were some of the ways that they tested you?
So what's this about? Was about like the basic instance was when I first started. I went to the TDC Academy, hands down, in my opinion, the best academy out there for corrections because they were.
Why is that?
Because they were realistic with you. Like they didn't sugarcoat it. It wasn't like when I went to go. It wasn't like when I did the Colorado Academy, where it was like, hey, you're here to make a difference. I go normalization. I'm all like, going from Texas to Colorado, that was two completely different worlds. That's we'll be here like forever.
Yeah.
So going from that, so it's more of like, hey, you know what? You can be an inspiration for these guys. Guys, I'm being serious. I know you're laughing.
I don't mean to laugh, bro, but you're blowing me away right now.
No. Trust me. It was blowing me away. So over there at the Texas Academy, they were more real with you. Don't get me wrong. The instructors, they were pricks, and I didn't want to talk to them.
Right.
But they were more real to you. They'd be like, you have like a class of 50, and I've literally seen this with my own eyes. This is about you have 50 people. Maybe about 3 months after the academy, maybe about 1 or 2 people would still be left over after the academy. Has a high turnover rate, but the advantages was about in Texas corrections. They don't pay you well, but it's the prestige of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, like in my opinion.
What kind of guards are they looking for? What kind of correctional officers? Are they looking like for firm individuals, fair individuals?
Do you have a pulse?
That really? Okay,
Yeah,
that seems to be the consensus everywhere.
Yeah, but they stress to you in the academy to be fair, firm, consistent.
Right.
And I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but in my 10 years of doing corrections, I've only had 3 uses of force.
In 10 years, you've only had 3 uses of force?
Yeah, I've only had 3.
What were they? Pepper spray?
Yeah, it was all pepper spray. And then one time was due to a medical emergency.
You had to use force as a result of the medical emergency?
Yeah, well, the freaking idiot, he decided to go get high, and he was just out of his mind. I'm like, stand up for count. And this is going to come in Europe. This is when I was working over there at the Feds. This is why you got to remain composure. You got to lift weights. You have to exercise the COs. I know you've seen it where you see the COs where they just eat like 3 buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken and they don't move. I go, that's literally like I think the amount of walking that some of them do, they just walk from the car
Correct.
to the cell block.
Absolutely.
I kid you not, people. So anyways, so this one guy, I go, this is over here at FCI Inglewood. This one guy, he comes along, he was higher than a kite. He took, I don't know what he took. It was about like, look, man, if you want to get high, stand up for count. I don't really ask for that much. Stand up for count. He was high. He couldn't move. Great. Now I got to call up the lieutenant. Like, look, when you're in corrections, you start becoming like an inmate because you don't want to talk to the lieutenant.
Right.
Like, I know, in fact, if you...
Chain of command.
Yeah, if you were my lieutenant, Hector, I wouldn't want to talk to you. I'll say good morning to you. Unless I physically have to call you and call you up, I don't want to talk to you. It's nothing personal,
right.
but I want him to have an easy job.
Drink
coffee. And I go, and he has the harder job than I do of dealing with inmates because you got to deal with the administration. Oof. I go, I've dealt with the administration a little bit. And I'm just all like,
that's a fact. It's easier to deal with inmates than it is administration. Let me make that official right now.
Yeah, it is a whole lot easier. So anyway, so back to my story. I know, in fact, I jump back and forth a lot. I'm like I like that one movie, the dog goes squirrel, and then I go along and I go off.
What movie is that?
I think it's like a Dog's Life or something.
I haven't seen it.
I can't remember. I saw it. It was a good movie. So anyway, so this one guy hired, so I called up the lieutenant. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to say the inmate's name because I believe in inmates' privacy because it's not my business.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't say the name.
Yeah, so I don't believe in saying the names. So I was like, hey, get up. No, I don't want to move. And my lieutenant's all like, oh, great. I'm like, all right, that's it. So I had enough of him. So I went to the back of him. I put him in a full Nelson, stood him up, and I was literally making him walk. And then the lieutenant told me, hold on, Bonner, let's go grab the stair chair. So he grabs his stair chair and everything else like that. He pukes. I get his puke on me. Oh, God, the smell of his back of his hair. Ugh. So anyway, it's like, whatever. Go along. The lieutenant goes get some asbestos. They go do whatever. And I go along and I go sit down. Then I go sit down. I'm like, great. I actually had to earn my paycheck today, and I actually had to talk to the lieutenant.
Is there a rank between CO and lieutenant, or is there like a sergeant?
In the feds, there's no sergeants.
There isn't?
There is no sergeants in the feds. But for the state of Texas and the state of Colorado, there were sergeants. So I go along, I type up my report, and then I just forget all about it. And then I never had any issues after. I really hardly ever have issues. And then like years later, like we'll say like 2 or 3 years later, inmates, they're going to remember everything what you guys do. Trust me. They're going to remember everything that you do. Everything. So like years later, this one inmate came up to me. He was all like, oh, wait a minute, you're Officer Bonner. I'm like, yes, I'm Officer Bonner. Hey, this one inmate just wants to say that he's sorry for throwing up on you and not standing up for count. And he was just all like, yeah. So he says he's very, very sorry. So this one inmate delivered this other inmate, and they were talking to me in another prison. I go, trust me, guys, inmates talk. So whether you're a good CO or you're a bad CO. So after I was like, okay, that's pretty good because I've forgotten all about it. And then like that's part of the CO. And then of course after that shift, my mom was all like, what happened to you? It's like, oh, I had to earn my paycheck. Can you please get the washer ready? And then she smelled my clothes. She was like, ugh, that guy needs to take a shower. I'm like, trust me, Mom, it smelled a whole lot worse. So of course, so that's just prison, man. And so you got to keep your head underneath pressure. You got to keep yourself cool. You have to be physically strong. Like if you can't deadlift like 135, get on there and go deadlift at least 135.
Why did you choose 135?
Because that's 45 pounds on each plate, and then not everybody can do like 225. Not everybody can do 315. 315. It should be a standard and reasonable goal that people should do.
Right. No, that's good.
Yeah. And so after dealing with that inmate and all that other stuff, I came along and kept my head cool. No problem ever after that. Then all the inmates were like, oh crap, oh, Bonner's here, we gotta stand up for count. But go along, like when you're dealing with inmates, they don't make the best choices in life.
What type of inmates were housed in that Texas facility? Like what level and what crimes were they in there for?
In the state of Texas, they kind of throw everybody and everything. And the inmates that you need to look out for are the G3 inmates. Now, don't forget too, I worked Texas Corrections from 2014 to 2017. So stuff may have changed in the past 8 or 9 years. So G3 inmates, and I didn't have any G3 inmates over there at my first prison, but my second prison, they're doing anywhere from 50 years to life without parole.
50 years to life without?
Yeah. So that's
G3.
That's a G3. And then that's like the classification, but that was at the second Texas prison I went to. The first one I went to was inmates where they were doing anything from 2 years to life. From 2 years to life.
Yeah.
Life, but you had to work it was a great prison to be at called Dalhart.
The G3 inmates, are they housed in cells? Is their housing units more secured?
Well, it just depends. Like I go in Texas when I worked over there at the Bill Clements unit, you actually had G3 inmates that actually lived in dorms.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to think about it. If you're doing life without parole, you kind of want to have the best living conditions.
A dorm is not a best living condition. A lot of people don't like to live with other individuals.
Texas and California is two completely different worlds. I've learned that.
What are some of the differences that you've seen or observed?
The number one thing what trips me out the most about California corrections was about how many people actually say like the organization's names. Like in Texas, you don't say the organization names. It's just something like you just don't do. It's like the old saying from J. Edgar Hoover, there's no such thing as the mafia. Like was about even if like
are there organizations in Texas?
Yeah, they have organizations in Texas, but
I mean, are they that strict that they will come after somebody for mentioning their name?
Yeah, man, because in like Texas is about I don't know if Texas still does it, but in Texas, if you were a member of an organization, they just locked away you in SHU forever.
Right.
Yeah, or SHU, or we called it high security or ECB, and ECB stands for extended cell blocks. And that's just for having a tattoo, and you were locked down forever. So nobody ever wanted to say they were part of an organization.
So one of the differences you see between California and Texas is that you feel that they loosely say the names of organizations in California as opposed to Texas?
Well, they say the names. So to me, that's just weird. Now, is it loose?
Now, who says the name? YouTube podcasters?
Yeah, like YouTube podcasters, like, hey, this prison organization, that prison organization.
There's some that don't say the names, though.
Yeah, there's some, but don't forget, too, everybody, look, man, I don't really follow all of prison YouTube. I hate prison YouTube. I've been working in prisons for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't really watch that much of it. I just see like little clips. I go, you're the only channel that I watch.
Who's your favorite YouTube prison genre channel?
There's actually two. Was this about yours?
Don't say mine. Somebody else.
Okay. Believe it or not, was J.D. Rutherford.
Really?
Yeah. I forget what it was about. I forget what he called it, because what I liked about J.D. Rutherford was about my neighbor. He turned me on to him. And what I liked about him was when he said, this is my war story. He came along was about like COs, like they need to be compassionate. I go, they need at least they need to like listen to us, like not give us everything. So after hearing that, I was like, he really, really helped me out a lot because he was actually real with his content. So I always liked him. So I liked him a lot. Now, with his YouTube drama, I stay out of YouTube drama. I don't care.
Do you ever see drama on the YouTube?
Oh, God, golly, man, just the little stuff of like what my neighbors send me, my mom sends me. Like, I'm talking about like prison YouTube. I kid you not, everybody. That really, really is how prison is, with all the drama and all the high school stuff. And
that's a fact.
I go, that really, really is real life. Now, what, whether or not, and I go, I've seen in prison where I heard about it, if you say something about somebody, you don't know how they're going to react.
Or they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, like.
Or possibly kill you.
Yeah, and so like, it's just better you just keep your mouth shut and you just stay out of the drama. Oh, and then this is also, too, another of you COs. If you hang out with fellow COs after work, there's nothing wrong with that. But do not expect COs to keep their mouth shut, because they'll tell everybody. And even the inmates will know about which CO got super drunk. Which CO, which CO loves so-and-so. It's just all like, golly. And I hate to break it to you guys, Inmate.com is very, very, It's actually 90% accurate sometimes.
Elaborate, what is inmate.com?
Oh, like when inmates, whenever they're spreading like rumors and stuff like that, like
How much did you say? 90% accurate?
90% accurate sometimes.
What about prisonguard.com? Pretty accurate at times, right?
God, no. Golly, that's just like 90%. Like half the stuff I don't even believe. Like me and Hector, we could go grab a beer together.
Well, I don't drink, but
I'll
play along with your scenario.
Okay, you know what? Hiking. You know what? We'll go with hiking. So like me and Hector, if we were to go on a hike together, we go up on a really nice hike, we enjoy it. He posts it up on his Instagram. And the other guards will be like, wait, you hang out with Hector outside of work? Yeah, no, man, Hector's a cool dude. And so be like, oh, okay. And then pretty soon, and they're like, oh, Hector got a Teletubby tattoo with Josiah. So like, where did you get, like, no.
Yeah, I could see that. I've seen that. I could see the whole entire drama unfold.
Yeah, like I'm talking about like something like so silly.
Right.
So something like, I know for fact it's like, I don't want to do like real scenarios. I want to make it fun.
No, that's perfect. Like that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So with your mentality, you want to come into work in a professional setting, law enforcement agency. How difficult is that to do your job when you're dealing with those type of personalities?
The best one was about on how you do it, like with all you new COs out there, is learn the people that you're working with. If you know this person loves drama or anything else like that, learn it.
What's a good indicator that somebody loves drama?
Oh, they pretty much tell you themselves. Like you barely sit down and then say, hey, did you hear? Well, I'm going to be picking on you a lot, Hector, because you.
No, go ahead, handle it, bro. This is going to be the educational portion of the podcast.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so like one of the things was you're sitting down. Hey, bro. Like, hey, what's up, pal? Hey, did you know that Hector? Did you know that Hector came along and he has a big crush on Samantha, and that was what he got Samantha's name tattooed on his lower back. I'm all like, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, I just don't believe you, pal. They pretty much tell you. And I'm talking about, I barely sat down with them. They're trying to tell me was about like how Hector loves Samantha, and then how Hector has Samantha tattooed on his lower back.
So for a new cop going into a correctional setting, a good indicator that a person's fucking full of shit drama and you stay away from it is they right off the top start, making up stuff about other people. And you know what the catch to that is? If they're talking to you about somebody, then they're sure in the fuck going to be talking to somebody else about you.
Exactly. Now, there's some people, they're more subtle than that.
Ooh, give us some examples.
So, like, some people are all like
fucking snakes.
Yeah. So, perfect example, like me and you. So, let's go say, and I've seen this a lot with other COs. Be very, very careful on who you hang out with outside of work. So like let's go say Hector tells me something private that he has a Teletubby tattoo, okay? And I want to get promoted. And I'm going to say, "Hey warden, hey lieutenant, did you know like we're up for this promotion? Did you know that Hector has a Teletubby tattoo?" And they'll use something personal against you that you thought for sure that they would never tell anybody.
Correct. I like the example you're giving because it's a drastic example, but it makes sense because you can fill it in with A, B, or C.
Yeah, exactly. And then like plus two, I don't want to do extreme scenarios on here because I've seen the way how your words got mixed around on YouTube and everything else like that.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna protect you, bro.
Oh, I know you will. You will.
And you haven't messed up thus far.
No, I appreciate it, man.
So I love the advice you're giving to the new cops, man, because I've been trying to tell them for 2 years, ain't nobody listening to me. And what's crazy is that off the top, we're talking about, how can staff protect themselves from other staff members in the duration of their career, right? We haven't even gotten into the inmates yet. So looking for avoiding drama.
Oh, yeah.
Avoiding drama. What other advice can you give in that realm?
Also, too, was
or identifying factors.
Identifying factors. Let's see. If people, believe it or not, as silly as this is going to sound, if you have like a Facebook, Instagram, or social media, look on the comments that they put on other people. And then like also to another example was, oh, hey, also to another example, what other COs would do, be all like, hey, Lieutenant so-and-so, I want to let you know that Hector's not really sick. He went to a concert. I saw it on his Instagram. I'm like, bro, like, why are you telling the lieutenant? And the lieutenants, leave them alone, because they get a lot of stupid stuff that staff members tell about so-and-so thinking that they're getting ahead. The lieutenants, they don't care. Like, literally, don't try to make somebody else look bad to go promote.
You are speaking gold right now, man. It's almost like you were observing my career while I was employed, dude.
Well,
Hey, guys, one of our sponsors for this channel is Tactical Elites. If you bought a new optic for your weapon, whether it's a handgun or a rifle, and you need to zero it in, and you don't want to take it to the range, and you don't want to buy money on ammunition, go to tacticalelites.com and buy the Laser Finder 2.0. Use discount code HB10 and make sure you check it out. Thank you, guys. Keep pushing forward. Hey, guys, consider becoming a patron where you will get first exclusive dibs on the video before it airs to the public, and you'll get to ask the guests special questions that you have in mind. So that's also another way to support the channel. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all of you. Keep pushing forward. Make sure you hit that link in the description below.
You know what it is, Hector? Me and you, we both have very similar is about, I got to hand it for you wanting to promote. I seen it after 2.5 years that dealing with the administration, I don't want to talk to them. I'd much rather deal with inmates all day.
Right, facts.
Inmates all day. Like, and I know this is going to sound really, really bad, but you'll get this. There are some inmates that I'd much rather have them be my neighbor than to have certain COs to be my neighbor.
I'd rather have neither, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'd rather have neither.
Yeah,
Right.
like some COs, they're worse than the inmates.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I've covered that too.
Yeah.
But let's change the gears a little bit to inmates. Inmates. Let's talk about how you said the Texas Academy differed from the Colorado Academy because the Colorado one, they wanted you to be, more friendly.
Oh, speaking of which, and then in Colorado too is what they actually want us to actually shake hands with inmates.
Now, knowing what you know and the experience you've been around, do you think it's a good idea for COs to be shaking hands with the inmates, trying to help them in a way that is beyond their duties?
Actuality, those are other people's jobs.
Correct.
I go, as a CO, you're responsible for the safety and security in the institution, and you are an authority figure per se. And the inmates, they give you that power. I go, because with a lot of the inmates that I've dealt with, that I've dealt with, I don't try to be their friends. I don't sit there and try to be their buddies. Like, I just do my job.
Tell the new COs why it's a bad idea to try to be an inmate's friend.
Because if you try to be the friend, if you try to go like the friendly route, it's not going to work out, because it's just because I go, if you try to do the friendly route, it's just not going to work, because you can't be friends. You can't be friends with people. Basically, in prison, you're like a manager. And for everybody that's in the military, Terry, as a CO, you're like an E5. You can't be one of the boys. You got to pick one. Be one of the boys or be a manager.
Yeah, but how does it affect safety by trying to be a friend to an inmate?
Okay, safety. Okay, that's a good question. I like that one. The safety part was about like, if you see an inmate that they want to attack so-and-so for whatever reason, they'll say, oh, wait a minute, officer so-and-so, he's my buddy. I shook his hand. I came along. I gave him some of my spread. He'll roll the door open up for me on the next cell block, and I could go get at my ops. That's the reason why.
It happens.
No, it does, because like ways how COs get corrupt, it's not everybody always thinks it's money and everything else like that. You can become corrupt in many different ways. Food, friendship.
Well, that's how it starts.
Yeah, it always starts off as
Small.
As something small. And inmates, man, they are smart. They know how to get their way, and they know how to manipulate people better than you do.
Yeah, I mean, they got nothing but time.
Exactly. And then a lot of the inmates, they're not as dumb as people try to make them out to be. If you've seen the
Correct.
books that they read, and then the way how certain ones, how they talk to like certain COs.
Oh, they're intellectual.
Yeah, and I go, it's just the way how it goes, man. I go, in order for you to live that lifestyle, a criminal lifestyle, you have to be manipulative, because any given time you're done in that lifestyle.
Give advice to a new CO about possible ways they can be manipulated by an inmate.
Possible ways. Trying to be your friend, and you got to nick this one in the butt. Hey, pretend I'm an inmate and Hector, you're a cop. Hey, Hector. First of all, we never call each other by our last name, by our first names. Be like, hey, Mr. Bravo. Hey, man. Hey, I just want to let you know, sir, what's this about Officer Timothy. Timothy was saying something bad about you. Something like was about you got like instead of you getting a green paint job, they give you a red paint job. Man, dude, I think that's messed up. You should go get yourself a red paint job.
So right off the top, the way I would address that,
Yeah.
be like, hey, man, get away from me. Number one.
Yeah.
Don't be talking to me about any of that stuff. Doesn't involve you. I don't know who, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Or just it's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple, because a lot of people try to think that inmates manipulate the staff through force.
Correct.
Force. I hate to break it to you people. If you try to go manipulate people through force, it's not going to last that long. You got to be subtle,
Finesse it.
finesse it.
Kind of like spitting game to a girl. You
Exactly.
got to lie to them a little bit. They like it.
Exactly. Like how was about like, look, I'll give everybody a perfect example. I flew all the way from Colorado to San Diego to be on Hector's podcast to go help you guys out. Because I'm doing this because I believe in it.
I didn't realize you flew in, dude.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you for that. I didn't realize you flew in,
Yeah,
bro. The last guy flew in.
Yeah, because I believe in what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Look at that, guys.
And I go, I know for a fact I'm jumping back and forth because the way how I see how Hector carried himself on the YouTube channel, I'm like, okay, this guy's not being an idiot. He didn't force me to come here. Now I'm here on my own free will. Like,
Appreciate that.
I took my own vacation time to come and be on this show.
Oh, bro, I owe you lunch or something, man.
Nah, man, you're good, man, because you're actually doing something good. But like back to the point, that's how it starts for something that simple. We'd be all like, and then they start talking to you. Now they got the friendship route, and then also too another way was, but I know to a lot of people was, man, them inmates, they make some good ass spreads. Like you smell it, smells good. You go along, you get mandatory. You have to stay there for another 8 hours. Do not accept that burrito. Trust me, that burrito is going to cost you a lot.
I will say this, man, and I agree with you. There was probably one time I worked the kitchen, the culinary, and in the morning time, they're like, hey, call me by my last name. You want one of these breakfast sandwiches? And I looked, and I was hungover. I was fucking starving. I don't even think I packed the lunch. I'm like, yeah, man, hook it up. But I remember I stood there to watch him make it the whole entire time. And I did eat it, right? It was fucking food from the It was food from the kitchen. None of their personal shit.
No, that's fine. That's fine because I remember when I worked in the kitchen, they made me like these peach desserts. Woo! I couldn't stop eating them, man.
So there's I guess, yeah, it's good that you were probably like a differentiate. We shouldn't have probably been doing that anyways, right? But it was a fucking opportunity to eat.
Man, dude. Man, I don't care what anybody says, man. Them paisas, they sure know how to cook up really, really well.
Yeah, correct. That's an accurate statement.
I go, man, them paisas, they can cook. I go, but just don't take anything because like me, see, like me, like as an individual was about, or like as an inmate, if I can take you to get a burrito, I can get you to bring me in a piece of gum. And then the piece of gum turns into a pen. And then the pen turns into tobacco. And then the tobacco turns into so much other stuff.
In your career, have you seen cops get busted for being dirty?
A lot. Yeah, I heard about it, and then I seen them in Texas. We call it when they walk them out of the unit.
We call it the same thing in California.
Yeah. In the feds, I haven't seen it, But
Well, talk to me about the procedure in Texas. Do they go under like an investigation? Is it a prolonged thing?
you know what? I was that one CO. I just stayed out of it. I can't tell you. All my stuff is all through mainly through hearsay.
How do you catch wind of it? Through hearsay? Like, hey, did you hear so and so got walked off?
I'll go hearsay, or was this about what was about, or people they'll tell it to you right on roll call, or was about when you're sitting there in Texas roll call, and then you hear other officers, hey, did you hear about how officer so and so was with inmate so and so? Yeah, they just walked her out, and that's the reason why. I go. That's the reason why we're short today.
So you've experienced a female correctional officer sleeping with inmates,
Yeah,
having inappropriate relationships with inmates.
I'll consider the term inappropriate relationships because I wasn't there.
Right.
I wasn't there. I'm not going to say no names or which prison it was at.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I go. You got to be careful. And a lot of people,
Careful, you don't accidentally do that, man.
No, you shouldn't do it at all.
Correct.
But let me rephrase that. If you're a female and you're a CO,
There's plenty of COs that'll give you that dick.
oh, there's plenty of them. Trust me. Their standards are really not that high. Trust me. You can go look like freaking
Like Fiona from fucking Shrek.
or yeah. Trust me, they're
And you're still gonna get a good shot of.
yeah. If you really want to have intimacy that bad, trust me, there's plenty of COs that will raise their hand and say, "I'll do her." Huh. There's plenty of them that will do that.
Correct. Maybe they're searching for a bad boy image or something.
I don't know.
Thrill. I don't know either. It's like a mental illness, if you ask me.
You know what?
No disrespect.
You know what? That's just how some of them are. It's just about the females. To me, that's just a scratch of it. We can say the females because it's going to lighten everybody up. But man, I've heard of officers bringing in contraband. I've heard of officers doing this, doing that.
Advice for the new staff members. Is it a good idea for coworkers to date coworkers?
Be very careful with that. Personally, I've seen it work. And
I've never seen it work.
I've seen it work.
I've never seen it work.
I've seen it work. I've seen it work when they're on different shifts.
What's your definition of working?
So I know in the Fed, what's this about? Let's go say, let's see. I know in the Feds, we have 7 to 3, we have day shift, evening shift, and night shift. So if your significant other works day shift, you work evening shift, then it can work. But
you're never seeing each other.
But yeah, because you're not seeing each other.
Correct.
And then there's some people where guards, I don't see how people could do it. They could work the same shift or their partner, then they go home with them.
It's too much.
And then also too is about all you men out there. If you think that you're a high time player, CO, and all that other stuff, you don't really have to be worried about the inmates trying to get your women. It's the other staff member that's trying to get your women.
Well, that's kind of what I was elaborating.
Yeah, because inmates, I expect inmates to act like inmates.
Right.
That's my job. I don't take anything personal from inmates. I don't expect that stuff from a coworker. Like certain staff members, I've heard stories of other staff members when they tell me, hey bro, I'm trying to, hey, did you know, I don't know, we'll make up names. I don't know. Jose and Maria, but Jose forgot about Maria's birthday. So then he goes, hey, Maria, I'm so sorry that so-and-so forgot your birthday. Here's your birthday card. And then whoop.
Next thing you know, man.
Yeah.
Your examples are on point, bro. Because it's almost like they've happened before.
Trust me. They have. I've changed a lot of names. We don't be dropping
Correct.
no names around here.
Exactly.
But this is real life scenarios. And for all you new COs, I hate to break it to you, you're going to have more troubles with staff members than you are going to be with inmates.
Now, I don't know if you watch my channel or are aware.
I like your channel.
Thank you. Or are aware of what is currently happening in the California Department of Correction and Rehabilitation. But we have some kind of program called the California Model. Well, not we, because I'm a civilian now. What is your advice to young correctional officers that are going to an academy and being taught basically what you were taught in Colorado versus what you were taught in Texas?
You know what? You got to stand by your morals. I get it through the California model with the Colorado model, because these guys are going to get out and we have to try to make them adaptive to society. We have to. Some of these guys, some of the inmates, they really haven't had any positive people that showed them on how to like correct behavior. So I get it. Now, like personally, like when you said about that one CO getting his neck.
Oh, I showed you the video. Well, the video was online.
Yeah. I first of all, I responded to you on your TikTok channel. I didn't believe you at first, but then when she told me it's real, and I heard from other people, nah, man, I go, that is for like somebody that's a volunteer or somebody should crack your neck. I go,
well, I don't believe any necks should be cracked in prison, volunteer or not.
Like, I could see like if they're trying to do an internship and they have some volunteers doing it and they're trying to get like their chiropractic degree, that I get. But if you're letting an inmate go along and chiropract your neck,
but while putting his hands all over his mouth and face area.
Oh man, like if
he probably just took a piss right previously. Who knows?
Oh man, that should be the least of you. Like, yeah, like if you're letting an inmate do that to you,
what could go wrong?
Personally, if I'm an inmate and I see you and I see another inmate do that, oh man, bro, I got you. I see like, hey, you know what, man? You're doing such a good job of believing in rehabilitation. Hey, pal, you want to make some money? Or what's about like, come on, bro, come and do this for me. And
I was thinking he'd have his fucking neck snapped.
Think about it. Think about it. If you're an inmate, right? And you see another inmate that's allowing to crack his neck, do you really have to resort to violence to get what you want from him?
Oh, I like that. I like that, man.
Yeah, like you got to think like an inmate.
Right. Oof.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I go, got to think like one.
Yeah, you don't have to resort to violence when you can just have your way with them.
Yeah. I go like think about it, Hector. And I'm really, really glad you brought that up. And your whole entire time in corrections, right? Now, was violence necessary in every single aspect with every single inmate that you dealt with?
Oh, no, dude. And I'm glad if you want to elaborate on that now, which is de-escalation and, avoiding the violence when you can avoid the violence.
Yeah, when you can.
Right, when you can. So can you talk about how, maybe give some examples of where things might get heated, not to the point of fighting, but to the point of where, hey, you can use your words like, hey, man, calm down, dude.
Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. And it was during COVID. This one inmate, he came along and was like, hey, Bonner, hey, my family members just died. And so like his time was from, being a correctional officer during COVID. Oh God, that was a freaking
nightmare, man.
That was the worst time of my corrections. That I'll never do that again.
Me neither.
So like there's this one inmate. So he told me, and me thinking that the inmate just wants some extra phone time. And I was like, wait a minute, I think this guy's actually being real. So I came along, was like, all right, man, just make it quick. So I let him go make the phone call. And so then when he hung up the phone, he got done talking, like, hey man, you need to go back to your cell. And he was all like, well, I'm really, really depressed. And I was like, hey, you know what, man? I've had death in my family. I don't know what you're going through, but I got to let these other guys out. And I'm not going to let them out with you still over here. So could you please go back to your cell? So now I know a lot of people are saying, oh, that's inmate friendly or whatever. Friendly. So you go along. So I put them in there. So I go unlock the other guys, and then I just listened to him for like 5 minutes. He said his spiel. I can't remember it all. I don't even remember the inmate's name or anything else like that. So I listened to him. So that's a way on how you can prevent it. How you can prevent a situation from going to somebody that just lost a family member. You still have to realize that these inmates are human too.
Yeah, because that could go south fast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then also too, what drives me nuts as a CO, and I know this probably drove you nuts, is when staff members, when they would joke with inmates.
What kind of joking?
Oh, just like joking in general. Like to me, I just can't be joking with these guys. Like, hey, I don't know, like why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? Like to me, I go, it just sets you up. Like, or
There was times where we'd laugh with the inmates because we had that sick, morbid sense of humor. Usually if somebody got killed or stabbed.
yeah, I go, everybody does it differently, but I like, to me, like if you're making jokes with somebody, you're gonna forget that they're an inmate.
Right.
And the perfect way how I could put that at was when I worked the kitchen a little bit in Texas in Dalhart. And I worked there like 2 or 3 days. It was nothing major. My first day, second day, but on my second day, I forgot I was working in a prison. I thought I was in Denny's. Denny's, like to me, or also too, another thing what drives me nuts is like when I actually seen officers where they play pranks on inmates. I go, look, you guys think we're joking, but we're not.
Do you believe there should be a hard line in the sand that separates staff member versus inmates?
Yeah, there should be like what's this is about, like inmates, they give you that power. I go, they give you the power to go along, to go lock them down and everything else. Like they give you that power. I go, if you like joke around with people and everything else like that, it's just not going to work out, because I know me personally, like if I see you and you go play a prank on another inmate, I just look at you as one of the boys.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to look at it through that point of view.
Right.
But yeah, like, or because like the inmates, you're cleaner, and he does a really good job of cleaning. Like, let's just face it. I go, some inmates are like, man, dude, that inmate, he really, really knows how to clean my office up really, really well. Really, really well. That's what I mean about liking him.
Yeah. So, do you believe every correctional do you believe that it takes a certain type of person to be a correctional officer? Or can anybody do it?
Not everybody can do it. There's some people they can't. Some people they just can't do it. I would probably have to say like growing up, like my dad. Like my dad was an asshole. I go, he was a prick, very, very strict, firm, and everything else like that. So like he would always tell me, and it wasn't until years later when I figured it out, when he told me, well, figure it out. He didn't know how to do it, so I had to figure it out. So I had to use my own problem solving.
Yeah.
And like dealing like with hostile people, I would have to say probably the worse growing up you are, the better CO that you're going to become.
Damn, dude, you hit the nail on the head with that, and I agree with that.
Because I like this one CO, nothing bad against him. I go, he had a silver spoon in his mouth. Mom and dad, they gave him everything. Nothing wrong with that. I go, I'm not hating on the guy, but he never suffered. Like he didn't know was about he didn't know what it was like
To struggle.
Like it's about like he didn't know what it's to struggle. Like when you go to the grocery store and all you have is $10 for the week and you're eating nothing but ramen noodles and SpaghettiOs, or like sacrifice. Like, hey, you know what? There's this concert that's coming up, but I got to go pay my electric bill. So I'm going to go pay my electric bill, and I'm just not going to go to the concert. So I have to say that people have struggled.
For sure. No, I agree. Do you have any closing words that you want to say to the audience, man? The floor is yours, dude.
I would have to say probably one of like my saddest days. My saddest day was I was working control, or the control room, which you guys would call it.
Yeah.
This goes to all you COs that are out there. There was this one guy, he retired. He was retired for 3 years. retired for 3 years. There's a reason why I'm repeating myself. So he's retired for 3 years. And he gives the prison a call at 2:30 in the morning. And I answer the phone. Then he asks me, hey, is Officer so-and-so there? Because I want to talk to him. No, sorry, sir. I go, sorry, sir. I go, there's no Officer so-and-so isn't working today. Have a good night. And then he goes, hold up, man. He was like, you probably don't remember me. I'm such and such. It's like, yeah, I remember you. I worked with him like once or twice. He's been retired now for 3 days.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years. He was retired for 3 years. He calls the prison at 2:30 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning. And he was like, hey man, before you hang up, can you come and just talk to me? I'm old, I'm lonely, and I don't have any friends. I was all like, wow. So I listened to him for about like 30 minutes to an hour. I can't remember. I just listened to him. And then when I hung up the phone, I go, man, you guys need to go, people, you guys need to get your life, you guys need to get yourself a life outside of prison.
Absolutely.
Like, part of me thing is about when I was in Texas, I kind of isolated myself. I kind of made the job my whole entire life. I didn't go to a Cowboys football game. I didn't go to my high school 10-year reunion. I regret doing that because I put the job first like an idiot. So now I don't do that anymore. So now I call off if I'm going to a concert. I go do stuff, what I want to go do. What I want to go do was about part of me was about, now I got involved in volleyball leagues. So now I'm part of volleyball leagues. I do that. I play volleyball with different people that are not prison guards. And I go, am I any good? No, but I have fun.
Nice.
I have fun. And I go, like, I don't make the life my job. And it's very, very easy to do that. Don't be that guy where you're retired for 3 years and you call the prison at 2:30 in the morning. Because, Hector, you worked over there at Centinela and Donovan, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever call Centinela or Donovan at 2:30 in the morning just to talk to somebody?
No.
Thank God. Neither would I.
And the only reason why I do this podcast is to kill time until I could collect my retirement in 10 more years.
Good for you, man. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. And also too, as being a CO was about when I was working somewhere, I was more scared of going to doing a salsa class than I would be if I had to go work in a prison.
Right. I
should not be that scared to go do a salsa class instead of working in a prison.
It's like social anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and I go, just dealing with with good people. Surround yourself with good people that don't work in prison, and go put yourself in a positive environment.
Dude, you dropped a lot of knowledge and wisdom on this episode, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I go, of course, man, because number one, Hector, I actually believe in your podcast. Like, you're one of the very, very, very few YouTubers that I actually like. That I
appreciate that.
And I actually, now, like with your videos and stuff, whenever you go live and stuff, I don't watch it all the way, but what I'll do is, because I believe in supporting your channel, on your channel was about, I'll go along while I'm doing a workout, or if I'm going away somewhere, I'll go put you on my TV.
Nice.
On my TV. Now, I'm not listening, I'm not watching you, but I'm giving you like the view and the view time. I appreciate that. And the view time.
It helps.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
And it helps out a lot because I want to see you succeed. Oh, and also too, of like officers too, is about these inmates, they're going to get out one day, whether if it's an hour from now or 25 years from now. I've run into so many inmates that I can't count anymore. Like whenever I hear Bonner, my last name, or I remember one time when I was at Target with my mom, there's 3 different inmates that recognized me.
Damn. And
my mom was like, okay, that's it. We got to go.
Did they approach you?
Yeah. I'm not scared of them.
Right.
I go, hey, what's up, man? And then also too, I even had an inmate be my Uber driver, and he took me home one time.
Oh, hey, man.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story.
So these guys are going to get out. Treat them like they're human. Treat them like the way how you want to be treated. And what's this about? These guys are going to get out and they remember everything. Trust me, they remember everything.
Facts. Cool, man. So once again, Josiah, thank you for flying out here, dude, spending your time, your vacation hours to share the wealth, the wisdom, and the experience, man. There you guys have it, folks. Another banger, dude. This guy took time out of his own schedule, life, to come and share, the experience that he has working in corrections. With that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscription button below. Love you guys. Keep pushing forward.
Unhinged mind, Hector's legend engraved. Living life raw, never been tamed. From the hood to the pen, truth and tales pen. Hector Bravo unhinged, story never ends.